Hey YouTube, James from the Wyvern Watch here, and here with a deck profile. This time it's another update to my probably the most competitive deck I actually use, which is of course Exosisters. This is the one I sort of take to locals the most. I've been playing around with different variants of it. This is the latest variant. The last one was incorporating Aratama and Sakatama. I decided I just don't like them. So every other Exosister deck plays it. It is a bit of a hand trap magnet, obviously, but I've decided to take it out because there's other cards I want to try in there, and just having those 6 cards in there, I didn't see any point in running two of each, certainly not one of each. So instead of trying to reduce the numbers of them and therefore making them even less impactful, I just decided to remove them entirely and try a slightly different option. So there's 2 new cards in here that are 3 obs that I just wanted to really give them a go and see how we get on. But other than that, the other lineups are fairly similar, but let me just show you what the changes I've made. So obviously Exosisters, the reason why I picked it up is because I love the spellcaster monster type. And obviously the artwork's absolutely phenomenal. These are the, of course, Starlight Rare Marthas. I've tried to get it as max rarity as I can. It's not absolutely max rarity, but the Exorcist components are all max rarity, so I can safely say that, I think, at least. It's difficult to say what's max rarity nowadays because of the amount of different variants on each. But the ones I've got are the ones I like the look of course, which is the main thing for me. The aesthetics is always very, very important, but the style and the gameplay is also important as well, to me at least. So let's kick things off as usual with the 3 of Martha. There's no reason why we still wouldn't run Martha. It's too good not to run. I don't think there's any Exorcister deck that I've seen, at least, let me just adjust this camera slightly, there we go, just so it's in the middle, that doesn't run 3. So and you know, and obviously there's a very good reason for that. Special summons itself, special summons from the deck, the Ellis, and of course allows you to go into your first XC summon. So yeah, very good card. Next one, of course, is the Ellis. You need to run 3 of these as well, guys, because not only because of the Martha trick, but obviously we are still running Stella, and they work hand in hand. So each of these Exosister monsters have their sort of twin cards, if you like. I call them twins, but mainly, you know, Martha is twinned with Ellis. Ellis is also twinned with Stella. Likewise, Stella is twinned with Ellis, and then you've got Sophia twinned with Irene, and Irene twinned with Sophia. So they have different effects depending on which of those are on the field. They do come up. It's not a massive impact, but they do come up. But obviously, Ellis allows to, assuming there's another Exorcister monster on the field, you can special summon this card. So nice and simple extender for Exorcisters there. And we're back to 2 Stellas. So this previously is 1, obviously, to make room for Aratama and Sakatama. But Stella, of course, while she's on the field, she can actually special summon an Exorcister monster from your hand. So again, it's another good option to go for. Maybe a little bit too many at 3, but I think 2's a good number for that. And then just the 2 1-offs, which is the this Sophia and the Irene. So I've only got these at 1-offs, mainly because obviously they don't special summon themselves, they don't allow another special summon, so they're a bit dead sometimes. However, if we get them off Vardis, which is ideal, because then you can use certainly Sophia's effect to draw a card, and maybe the situation's right to use Irene's effect to obviously spin one back and then draw a card. And if either of them on the field at that time, you gain your sort of 800 life points back as well. But I quite find when you're going through your first combo with Martha and going for your first Caspatel maybe, and you've got another Exorcister monster in hand, either Ellis or Stella maybe, Sophia is a good option to go for on the search, because then of course you're well, depending on which one you've got in your hand, you're either special summoning with Stella or normal summoning Sophia and then special summoning the Ellis. But when there's another Exosister monster on the field, you can draw a card, so obviously you can use that effect, but you only need the one. So that's it for Exosister names. So a little bit light on monsters, and that's the only downside to my build at the moment, just a little bit light on names, and that's obviously what Aratama and Sakitama brought to the table, just being able to get into there a little bit quicker. But with Prosperity and packs in there, I feel that you can always get to your combo pieces. And just in line with that, obviously there's a few, well, these haven't changed. I've still got the shifters. I'm still waiting for this to be hitted on the ban list, to be fair. I think it's probably time is due. It's having too much impact in the meta, I believe, at the moment, so I can't imagine it's going to be too long before we see Shifter at 1, which makes it unplayable, or entirely banned potentially. And then just a couple of monster hand traps. So we've got one Ash Blossom, one Droll and Bird, and one Nibiru. Now, as soon as I put these on the field, you can probably guess what's coming up. The Cross-Out Designator is the card that's one of the cards that of 3 of that I've chosen to add to the deck. And of course, in order to make use of it, these 3 cards are the most impactful and most sort of devastating to my combos. So an Ash Blossom, fairly simple. Drawn Lockbird is still, people are still playing it, so and it does impact. I'm searching all the time with this deck, so a Drawn Lockbird is a good option. And of course, obviously, if you draw it, you can always use it. Of course, there's no reason why not. And one Nibiru, of course, for obvious reasons. Nice and simple options there. But while we're talking about Cross-Out Designator, let's just bring that up. Because obviously it's not just here for hand traps. You know, this will negate any sort of one-off spell effect or trap effect. So I'm trying to run some of the more obvious ones in here as well. We're running quite a trap heavy deck, so there'll be another 1 or 2 options in there for that. But yeah, Cross-Out Designated, this time in the Collector's Rare as well, which is out of the Rage Collection 2, which is, I thought, really pretty. So we thought we'd go with that one on this occasion. But yeah, Cross-Out Designator, great card. And of course, the other 3 off, which is also in Collector's Rare, believe it or not, is Exosister packs. We're all familiar with this one as Exosister players, of course. Oh yeah, look at the foil on that, it's amazing, isn't it? But yeah, obviously this will get you your last combo piece, or if you've got your combo pieces, it'll get you your last trap, maybe get one of the Vardis, either Vardis or Returnia. So yeah, it's a good option, and like I say, it gets you pretty much whatever you need. And obviously with the Cross-Out Designator, I'm hoping I can block anything that's sort of trying to stop me from searching, including use of Pot of Prosperity. I still like running 2. These are the Quarter Century Secret Rares. Very pretty. I actually pulled one of these out of one of my boxes. Had to source the other one though. But yeah, it's still very useful. You've got options in your extra deck to go for 3 or 6 really, but I don't want to see it too often because I don't want to devastate my extra deck apart from anything else. So just the 2 of on that one. We've bumped TTT up to 2. It was previously 1. So again, this is a super card. We're always getting. You know, monster effects are always being activated in your own turn, so you're always going to be able to make use of it, well, for most of the time, and at least anyway. So yeah, bumped it up to 2 at least for now, and then dropped the Triple Tactics Thrust down to 1, the other one being in the side deck. So I imagine this is also going to get impact hits in the ban list. It's just too good, but I've just sort of decided to go for 1 at this point anyway. I think it's probably the right number at that. The other couple of one-offs, I've got one Harpy's Feather Duster, which of course is going in the main deck. If this is tried to use against me, then obviously I can try and stop it. Like I say, I'm running, how many traps am I running? It's 13, 11 traps, I think it is. So yeah, it's a trap heavy deck, and obviously I just want to try and protect myself, but also at the same time, if you're drawing it, it can be very impactful for you. And also, just to stop the odd hand trap here or there, is Called by the Grave as well, also in quarter century rare. And then onto the traps. So Infinite Impermanence hasn't shifted, that's still at 3. Time this right on the normal summon, and it could end your opponent's turn, so it's that impactful. It's not always that impactful, but I'd like to have it rather than not. So 3 Infinite Impermanence. I bumped in evenly matched back up to 3 now. I did sort of knock it down to 2 in order to sort of make room for Aratama and Sakitama. So this obviously gets sided out a fair amount, depending on whether I'm going first or second, but it's in the main deck for first because people aren't expecting it in the main deck for first. And it's quite easy to sort of break an Exosister board. So, you know, even if I'm going first and it's in my hand, I'll make my board, watch it getting broken, and then potentially activate it in their battle phase after their battle phase anyway. So it can always be useful. The last 3 of is the other new card. So we've decided to go with 3 Dominus Purge, which is the new one in the newest set. What's it called? I forgot what it's called. Infinite Forbidden or something like that isn't it? So if your opponent controls a card, which normally is not too much of an issue, you can activate this card from your hand, and when a card or effect is activated that includes the effect of adding a card from deck to hand, negate the effect. Then if you have a trap card in your graveyard, destroy the card. If you activated this card from your hand, you cannot activate the effects of dark, water or fire monsters for the rest of the duel. So the dark side of things, there's only 2 monsters in the extra deck that are affected by that. And obviously there aren't any water or fire monsters, so that shouldn't be too much of a downside for us. But because we are a trap heavy deck, it's quite common to have a trap in the graveyard, so we decided to give this a whirl and stop a few more effects. And the last traps I run, of course, are 1 of each of Vardis and Returnia. Very much searchable, so only decided to run 1 of each now. We did have 2 returning in the previous build. It's now down to 1, which makes it a 40 card main deck. So just to try and keep the numbers level. Sorry guys. But that's it for the main deck. Yeah, so hopefully you like the changes I've made there. We'll quickly rattle off the extra deck because I don't think I've actually changed this an awful lot. So we have, of course, got 2 Exosister Magnifica. 2's the right number. You know, most of the time you probably don't need the second, but you definitely want to have the option of having the second just in case the first one gets banished or whatever. But yeah, these are both the Starlight Rare ones. But yeah, 2 Magnifica, one's an absolute must. And of course, 3 Michaelis. Still running these, the most impactful XYZ monster, I would say. Obviously in the collector's rare. I really like the collector's rare on this XYZ monster because the black looks matte, which looks really, really cool. So yeah, Exosister Michaelis. Obviously just banish 1 card your opponent controls and search for the spell or trap. Which you're using all the time, so again, that's why we're running a couple of one-offs. Caspatel is the monster searcher, and obviously it negates the effects of, so you can't special summon from the extra deck. The extra deck thing doesn't come up an awful lot, but it can work. But Caspatel is a super artwork one. She's amazing, that one, so that's Caspatel. Probably your first XYZ monster to go into as part of your combo, depending on what you do. And just so you've got the options there, you've got Gibbrine for the OTK, just obviously boosting up your all your XYZ monsters by 800 points. Or is it XYZ monsters or Exosister monster? Or XYZ monsters, yes, so that's how it gains the attack. And of course the Exosister, which I don't use an awful lot, but I guess it's the dweller for the deck, isn't it? So you know, I just want the option, obviously, and having it in the extra deck, of course, as well. And then the non-Exosister stuff. So we'll just start with the Xyz monsters. So a Gar Cowboy. I can't resist it, you know, just the option to go for game, but of course it generally gets used and disappeared by Prosperity fairly quickly, as does number 1 Baguska. We've also got the Superstar Slayer Typhon Sky Crisis, which if I needed the extra deck space, I'd probably think about removing this now. A, because it's dark and obviously conflicts with Dominus Purge, but B, I just don't find myself using it an awful lot. But this is always still a good option. So this is the double Zeus, of course, which we shall not be removing from the extra deck because it's always useful to have one of those available for you. And the last two are Link monsters, so SP Little Knight, again assuming we've not used a Purge, and Lena the Light Charmer, just as another option to go into something other than an Xyz monster. I do like SP Little Knight, I have to say. I think that's a cool looking card. I know it's dark and conflicts a little bit, but it's not every turn you use the Purge. Now on this occasion, guys, because it is my sort of deck I take to locals the most, I do have a side deck option, so I'll just run through what I've got in there at the moment. So I've still got Dimensional Barrier, still find that useful. Do tend to side it in a fair amount, so I've gone for those. I've sided my Dark Ruler No Mores, so they were in the main last time I did a build, I think. I'm still running my Necrovalleys. My Ultimate Rare ones are in my Gravekeeper deck, so we'll have to settle for Ultra Rare on this occasion. People still aren't expecting this card, and it still has an impact in the game, so I'm happy to still keep running it. Doesn't affect us at all. And then I've got a load of singletons, so I've still got the Arment, which allows an Xyz summon on your opponent's turn. I've got the Carpe Diem as well, just to stop a particular card if it's causing an issue. I've now got a Change of Heart as well, just to add a little bit more. Well, it obviously could grab us a component for a potential Xyz summon. I've got the second Triple Tactics Thrust if I think it's necessary. I've also got the Gozen Match, which is still a one of course at the moment, and there is the second Returnier that we took out of the main deck. So I just thought I'd keep that in there just in case I think I need it. And of course we've got the Primal Being token just in case we actually use that Nibiru. Guys, that's it for the deck. Hope you've enjoyed it. I know my Exosister builds aren't necessarily the norm, but I like to put my own spin on it. I like to make sure it's how I want to run it, whether it's actually successful or not. I'd rather be playing a deck that I enjoy and enjoy making use of, rather than using somebody else's list. Guys, that's it once again. Please leave comments down below if you think that I've made an error, or if you want to make a suggestion. Throw us a like and of course a subscribe. But we'll see you for next time on the next video. Thanks again, guys. Bye bye.